How do you create a real estate referral business that supports your life and also lets you not sacrifice your family? Stick with me. I'm going to share all the details. My name's Alisia. I'm so excited to have you here because if you said yes to the first question, that's what this channel is all about. Make sure you hit subscribe so we can share tips every single week. I'm super excited just to get into this because we just hit 1,000 subscribers. So thank you so much. And I'm going to take this opportunity just to lay out some tips for you guys on how I've built my business and some things to avoid. Number one is stop looking for answers in the wrong places. So when I first started, I was getting a lot of advice, right? So from different agents who weren't in my position. I had a small child at the time, and then I had a second child, and then I had a third child. Got a lot of advice to do expireds. Great, right? Expireds work, FSBOs work. It doesn't necessarily work when you're nursing or you have a little baby that you can't be really consistent with it. So I was taking advice from a man with no kids. That didn't make any sense. So look for people who are in your position or the position you want to be in to take advice from. Don't take advice from someone that you wouldn't switch places with. Same thing goes for maybe there was a mom there and they had a great business, but they were never making their kids events, or they had a nanny and they were never around. That wasn't the life I wanted to live, so I wouldn't be taking advice from that person. So find out who you want to take advice from by the life that you want to live. Take that from them and then model after them. I actually want to give a real quick shout out to the agent that told me it could never be done to have a great business, a 6-figure business, unless you put your kids in full-time daycare. So thanks to that agent for a little fire under my behind. Number 2 is questions can increase the quality of your business and your life. If you can ask great questions, not just of your clients, not just of your family and friends, but of yourself to get down to the nitty-gritty, the more time you're going to save, the better quality leads you're going to have, the better transactions you're going to have if you're asking questions of the agents. So if you ask a question, most agents want to tell, right? Most agents want to say blah, 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 blah. For example, before even writing an offer, how many agents call the agent and ask very specific questions about what time frame would you like to settle, your sellers want to close? Will they be open to seller contribution? Why aren't they open to seller contribution? If you figure out the why behind people, you can really help them a lot more. And as far as qualifying buyers and sellers, the more questions you ask, the shorter your time period of working with them will be, and a greater understanding you have for them. If you can get to asking your family and yourself great questions, like, why am I actually doing this? What do I want to accomplish with this video, right? Everything is like, why do you want to do that? Figure that out first so you can reverse engineer everything instead of just willy-nilly doing stuff that doesn't go toward your focus. Number 3 is huge in my life. I owe this tip so much to making me successful, is figuring out your 20%. And there's a whole book called Essentialism about it. I think I have a video as well. It is figuring out the activities that get you the biggest results. Otherwise, you're doing things that don't make sense to get your results. And you're doing a lot of things that you don't have to do. So the better you can get a handle on what that 20% is, the actual things that you do to get the biggest results and make you the most money, the easier it is to make decisions about your schedule, about who to work with, about what to put out about your brand. All of the things become easier when you identify the 20% in your business and your life. The 20% rule also goes for your family. So if we are busy real estate agents, it is really good to ask your family, what's their 20% of you? Do they want you to be at the soccer game, or do they not care so much about the soccer game, but they really want you to be at tea time on Saturday? Whatever it is, let them be involved and actually tell you what's most important to them for you to be present at, because otherwise we're just guessing. I'm losing count on numbers, but the next one is, are you protecting yourself from being seen? And I heard Sunny Lenarduzzi actually say that term in a different way in one of her videos today, and that really struck a chord. Are you protecting yourself from being seen? Are you not putting yourself out there because you're afraid of the ridicule? Or I hear so many people say, well, I don't like the way I look, or I don't like the way I sound. Newsflash, none of us do. It's cool. You're going to repel some people and you're going to attract some people. Still, put yourself out there, not only for the business and for people to get to know you, but I promise you, there are people who need to hear your story. There are so many people who need to know that they're going through what you're going through. Like, Right now, or when I was building my business, I didn't have a lot of female mom agents to look up to. I didn't have anyone that I could find online telling me that you can have a family and do a business, that this is how you can do it. And some of them were saying, here's how to make a little extra money, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm the sole provider for my family right now. And I needed someone talking to me like that and saying, it's okay, you can do both of these, and this is how it's done. So whatever your situation is, you don't have to be a mom, whatever it is, someone's looking for the validation saying, yeah, I can do it this way. You're that person for whatever it is, whether it's selling their home, they're looking for, yeah, oh, I can sell my house doing this. They're looking for that in you. So don't rob people of getting to know you just because you're afraid of what you look like or what you sound like, because they're going to love you. This one, I have a whole video about, I have a couple videos about it. You don't need a CRM unless you want it. Your business isn't hinging on a fancy CRM. You can have one, that's fantastic, but you don't need one, and you don't need a fancy website. And there are plenty of agents out there that have said this before, Ricky Caruth, Tom Ferry, saying like, it doesn't matter what CRM you have, even if you don't have one. You just need to keep up on your relationships. Raise your hand if you've ever compared yourself to someone else and said, oh, so-and-so is making so much, so-and-so's closed so many deals. That is really bad in this industry because you don't know what they're paying for their leads, right? Because if someone's closing 7 deals a month and they're paying for Zillow leads, they're probably paying thousands of dollars for that. And are they paying for a transaction coordinator? Are they paying for a buyer's agent? You don't know how much money net they're getting. So you want to focus on your net. What is your goal? If your goal is to make $140,000 a year and you're on pace, doesn't matter how many you're closing. If that means 2 and you got a higher price point, good for you. You probably have a better life than that person. So don't look at what they're doing because you have no idea how much money that they're netting, what they're paying to actually get that business. I do have a little tip on this. So if you're trying to track your income, right? We see everybody's boards, right? They say transactions, what's closed, what's pending, what's in the pipeline. This is what I do. And I've just moved spaces so it's not up there. So we're going to pretend to do another one. I just have sticky notes that say the month, and then I write the transaction amount and any income that I got. And at the bottom in the circle, I put my net income. I circle it and I put June up there, right? June now, July, and then I'll put August up there. And it gives me a way to look real quick what my net income is. And I have a couple sources of income, so I would put those in there, and then I'll calculate taxes and what I've already spent and everything and just put my net in there, because I always want to have my eye on what my net income is, because sometimes I could feel like I'm doing really poorly, right? Like things aren't going right. I have hardly anything, and then I've just netted $18,000 that month, and I thought it was a horrible month. You have to check yourself and your emotions with the facts that are going on, and I know you can do this digitally. That's fantastic. I need to see visually real quick what's going on in my life. So I hope that helps. One mistake I made when I first started was that I did open houses. And there's nothing wrong with open houses. They 100% work. They don't work for me. I would sweat. I would get nervous. I was afraid that I was going to get mugged. I wasn't that great at them, though I pulled off transactions for sure because I'm really consistent. It didn't fit who I was. I'm more of, you meet me and then you get to know me along the way and you will bet on me every single day of the week. But I'm not that person that really blasts you away the first second that you meet me. So they weren't good for me, even though they were good for so many other people. Do what's best for you and double down on it. You might have to try a couple things first to actually see what works for you. But once you figure it out, don't let anybody talk you in to keep doing stuff that's not your style. Relationships are the gold mine of your business. They're the gold mine. And a lot of opportunity is right under your nose. So many people are missing the opportunity because they're running so fast looking for leads. They're looking for new leads. And I have to tell you that leads are not your answer. More leads are not the answer. You can get plenty of business by developing the relationships that are right in front of you, and having those relationships grow and introduce you to new relationships can get you all of the business that you'll ever need. And I can tell you that I went from having zero sphere, Zero sphere, zero siblings, not a big family, not a big network, hardly any friends. Like I commuted to college. It's not like I had college buddies. And I took from those early days, those cold leads that I had, got them into my database, and then I developed those relationships into referring people. And most of my referrals come from about 10 to 12 people every year for a 6-figure income. And I didn't even know them 10 years ago. This tip needs to sink in for sure. And it's bet on yourself. When you know it's right, you go all in. Like that agent that told me I couldn't do it with kids at home. If I would have listened to her and not done it, I wouldn't be where I am today. And we wouldn't have the family groundwork that we have now and be able to spend so much time together. We never had that. My husband even didn't believe that I could do a referral business. All referral. He didn't know enough about real estate to know that you can do that if you have systems around it and that you can put things in place that can really maximize your relationships to give you enough business. He didn't know. So when you know it's right, you double down and bet on yourself and you go all in until you know that it's not the right decision. You know, like it's the right decision until it's not. Go all in and don't listen to anybody, not even your spouse, not your best friend, unless they have some kind of facts to back it up or inside knowledge that shows what you're doing is detrimental to yourself. Because you know best. Deep down, you do. There is opportunity all around you. And if you want to double down and really dive into your branding, check out. I have a couple playlists, one on branding, one on being a mom in real estate and the systems that can help you and what helps you out, and also client appreciation, because fear and relationship business is what's gotten me everything. Check out those playlists. I think that they'll help you. Thank you so much for helping me get to 1,000 subscribers and all the watch time that you guys are giving me. It's more important to me even than the subscribers. So I just want to say thank you so much, and I hope you get value out of this video. See you next time.